Hello, welcome everybody to Introductory Performance Seminar. Uh, Looks like I have another person here. Let's see who Amala is. Hello, Amala. I don't see you in my seminar for Introductory Performance Seminar. Let me check the other performance seminar. See if you're supposed to be in that one. Yes, you are. So let me show you, let me give you that link. There you go. Go ahead and follow that link, Amala. Great. All right, we're still waiting on one more. Let me reach out to that parent really quick. Thank you for bearing with me for 1 second. All right. Okay. Thank you both for attending this performance seminar Friday, August 1st at 6 p.m. If you haven't done performance seminar before, the way it works is that each of us will play our pieces one at a time. When you are performing, make sure that you are unmuted and that your volume, or I'm sorry, that you're unmuted and that your original sound is on. Please make sure both of those things are happening when you are performing. When you're not performing, please mute yourself so that you're not interrupting the other performers. We'll go, like I said, we'll go one by one performing, and then once we have completed our pieces, I'll give some advice on your piece, and we'll play a little bits of parts of each other's pieces so that we may learn something. So I'm just going to share my screen, and we will start with the order that I have here in the attendance. So first is Devin. Devin, can you introduce yourself and the name of the piece you'll be playing?
My name is Devin Wang, and I'll be playing Reflections.
Really nice job. Bravo. Excellent work. Really good dynamics, really good flow, pace throughout all that. If that was memorized, I would call that honors worthy. So work on memorizing it. You're right there.
I think I have memorized it.
Nice.
I just wanted to.
Yeah, totally. Totally. Yeah, really, really nice job. Let me add Isaac to the attendance here. All right, Isha, can you introduce yourself and the name of the piece you'll be playing?
My name is Isha, and I'm going to be playing the second movement of Classic Sonatina.
Great. very nice job as well on that piece. Very cool. Very good job. Whoops. All right. And now, Isaac. Isaac, can you introduce yourself and the name of the piece you'll be playing?
Hello, my name is Isaac, and I'll be playing Beach Party.
There you go. Really good job. Really good job. All right. Excellent job from each one of our performers. Why don't we just go in order through these pieces? Devin, really nice job on, on reflections. Like I said, this is pretty much a flawless. I would say really the only things that I heard was this retardando did not have to be quite as slam on the brakes as you did it, although it is nice. It is a stylistic choice. But you kind of went like which is pretty slow. I would say maybe more like let me turn on my original sound. Maybe you guys didn't hear that. No, I have it on. And maybe like so it is like slowing down, a little more gentle. And mezzo forte here, you were pretty loud, and I would actually maybe you can kind of relax here in this part because you're playing these pretty long, triumphant things here, right? That are already pretty loud. But then when you go up to here in this part, maybe that's actually where you lay on the as like one little final gasp up into the retardando at the end. Yeah. But really nice, really good job. I think well, we have time to for other people to look at it. Sorry, I'm trying to like we have kind of like three pretty different skill levels here, and I just looking at like where would be a good spot for maybe just this part. This is a very common thing to have happen in classical music and just music in general. Is this pivot note is really well, or not a pivot note, but like a I'm blanking on the name now. An anchor note. One that just stays on the same note as we go back and forth between other ones. In this case, we have 5 on B. And we keep returning to B as we move down with the other ones. 5, 4, 3, 2, which is F sharp. And then finally 1, of course, here. And then it does it again. Let's try that. Isaac, do you want to give this a try? You're on mute.
This right here?
Yeah, just right. It says 5 on B. It's the B that's actually above treble C, 1 below high C. Yep. Cool. And I'll just put it to there because that's where I stopped. And Isha, do you want to give this a try? And one? Oh, one will be on E. There you go. So yeah, just back and forth between those. That's a really common thing to do, not only in the right hand of the piano, with like, just like we did with this, but we can be like anchor notes for a bunch of different things too. It's a really common thing to have anchor notes like that. Cool. Let's look at Isha. Isha, really nice job. Each time you come in with this, it's a little better than before. Your dynamics have gotten much, much better. It's very clear where the dynamics are and how you're putting them in. The thing that I would want to say is when you have these moments, when you finally have the rests between the notes, start to implement those more, because then we really have a contrast between these nice, smooth, connected notes that are happening in the measures before, right? Everything here is just nice and soaring, and then all smooth and connected. Off, right, like that. So make sure that we're coming off of those notes when we get to the rests. Can we play this part, Isha, with the rests included? And everybody else, if you want to try this part in the square as well. There you go, that was really good. And why don't we take that from 13 now, Isha, and play the whole line. There you go. Really nice. Cool. Devin, do you want to try the part in the square here? There's a B flat. There you go. Nice. Nice. And Isaac, do you want to give this a try too? There you go. There you go. An important concept in this piece, and in a lot of classical pieces, this is a cadence, right? Maybe you guys have done chord progressions before like this, but when we take parts of those chords, and we don't always have to play every single note in a chord every single time. We can just play parts of them and still get the same cadence out. And if we are in the key of, well, actually, somebody tell me. Does anybody know what the key is that we're in?
F major.
F major, yes. F has a flat on the fourth note, and it is B flat. So we are in the key of F. And these two notes here, this is F and C. F and C are part of an F chord. We'd call that the one chord. These three notes, E, B flat, and C, might look a little strange at first, like what kind of chord is this, right? Because most of the time we have a chord that's like this with all three of them right on top of each other. Maybe we'll have something in here, but at least it's like skipping. Whereas this one, there's no like skip between here. It's just a step, right? So what is this chord? Well, if we just kind of dropped this B flat for a minute, and then we would be left with C and E, which seems like the beginning of a C chord, right? And then if we add the B flat in up here, then we see that this is actually a C7 chord. And C is, let's find out how many notes away from F. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 notes away. So this is a 5/7 chord. Which you guys may know that we have 1, 5, 7, 1. This chord progression that happens is so common, and it happens all the time in music. This sound of it's because 1, in this context, is F, and our way to get to a place of most tension is to go to a 5/7 chord. Go 5 notes away and play a chord there, and now we have a lot of tension build up that we want to resolve back to 1. So recognizing at the ends of lines, especially these times of either going to the 1 chord, whatever that scale is, or the 5 chord, but 5 notes away from that scale, can really help and influence the playing. Cool. Let's move on to Isaac now. Isaac, really good playing of Beach Party as well. I don't really have much to say really about it because there's not, there's one dynamic level and there's some pedaling that happens in here. But your keyboard can't do dynamics and you don't have a pedal. So what can I say? The rhythm was really nice. The note accuracy was really good. And you had a nice ritardando at the end. Very nice job. The way that this works, this song, Devin and Isha, I don't know if you guys have played it before, is that it gives you the chord progression here. A or C, A minor, F, and G. And the chords reflect that. This is C, this is A minor, this is F, and G. And the notes also are reflected in the bass note as well. This is C, this is A, this is F, this is G. So it just goes C, A, F, and G. You guys want to try that? Devin, do you want to give it a try? You got it? Nice. And Isha, do you want to give it a try too? Oh, this would be 3. Yep. And then this goes to the left to A. And then 4. That's it. That's it. And what's nice about having chords in a progression like this is that you can make whatever kind of music you want just based on a chord progression like this. It's so simple, and you can play it over and over again. And then that's what they do. They change up. They use the exact same notes from the C chord. They just play them in a different order. So let's do this. Let's try and play those. Let's try everybody, and we'll try and make our own pattern. So again, the progression is C, A minor, F, and G. And so what we'll do is we can keep those same bass notes here in the left hand, which will just be 1, 3, 5, 4. But we'll play whatever order we want of these notes here. So maybe like, or maybe, or even something simpler. We could just do like, they don't even all have to be the same pattern. It can be, just try and play the notes that are associated with each one of them. Isaac, do you want to give it a try?
All 3 chords.
All 4 of them. All right. There you go. There you go. Nice. Cool. And Devin, do you want to give it a try? There you go. That was rocking. Heck yeah. What about you, Isha? you go. Nice. You kind of stuck around on the C chord here in the right hand, but let's try and move that pattern to the other chords as well. So instead of just keeping it in C, start on A now, and then with F on F, and then on G. You want to give that a try, Isha? There you go. And so that's just us doing some variations on the right hand, but what about the left hand, right? It can also do a whole bunch of things, even if it's just playing C. It can play two C's. It could play a C chord. It could play all sorts of things, as long as we're still just keeping this chord progression, right? So for example, we could go like, let me get the pedal over. It sounds really complicated what I'm doing, but I'm still just using the chords. Just using these notes, right? And we can play them anywhere we want on the piano too. That's why it's really important and a really good skill, and why we do all these scales all the time. Is of course to make sure that our fingers are good and technical and moving around when these patterns come up in music, but also so that we know C, E, and G is a C major chord. F, A flat, and C is an F minor chord. B flat, D, F is a B flat chord. So when you're playing these chords and practicing them in your scales, pay attention to what notes are being played too. Because when the music comes up and it says play an A flat chord, then you know right away what the A flat major chord is. Cool. Again, really good job from everybody. I think we'll end there today. Thanks again for joining me for the Introductory Performance Seminar, August 1st at 6 p.m. I hope you guys all have a great weekend. And I'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you.